people find smaller businesses? I mean, part of working within a trade organization is to actually find is a marketing avenue for small businesses to reach out to other small business and small business owners. That's something that can be beneficial because from a service standpoint, you're probably going to get somebody to answer the phone.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
A small business.
Well, small businesses, I think there's a lot of advantages of working with small businesses in your neighborhood. Small businesses have to take better care of you in some ways because the threat of you going somewhere else is real with those needs. Whereas some of these big people we were just talking about, like you said, if you don't like one cell phone company, you go to the other one. Well, they pull the same tricks as the first one. It's like they kind of collude to have the same practices that drive all consumers crazy. And when you're dealing with local business owners, number one, you've got the option of choice. Number two, those people are in your community. They're going to hear from you and see the feedback. I think there's a lot of reasons to choose those small businesses, definitely.
And when you guys, I guess as an advocate somewhat, when you're working within a trade organization, not only can that service be better if it's a small business, but you guys will in some ways stand behind some of those businesses.
Well, when we refer someone to one of our customers, when our clients in our trading community are looking for, I need a referral for painting, or I need a dentist, or I need this, if we refer someone to one of our customers, we're going to hear the feedback because, number one, we want to know. We're going to be referring more people to those businesses. And number two, our customers like talking about it. That here's the stuff you're getting for me and the business you're bringing for me. Customers like giving you feedback. When we call Comcast, it's to tell them what we think sometimes, good or bad. And we hear the same from our customers.
You call Comcast to tell them good things?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Hi, Comcast. You guys are doing a great job today.
Yeah. Fair enough. Maybe that's not the best example, but you know where I'm going with that. Is
my cable has not gone out for a week.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are really picking it up.
What are you going to praise them for? This bill sure is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But no, we hear the feedback, and it's our job to bring our customers new business. That's part of what we do, and so we've got to be concerned if. I can't refer somebody to my painter 5, 6, 10 times in a row if we're getting negative feedback. So there's a little bit of that insurance built in because we don't want to become, the opponent of our other customers. We got to take care of them.
When somebody is working within a trade network and maybe something doesn't go as well as somebody hoped, is that do they come to you? Is that something that you guys handle?
Well, those are two separate questions in some ways.
Okay.
Yes, they all come to us. We are the gatekeeper, so to speak. We are the referral force. So they tell us first.
Sure.
Do we get involved? It depends on the scenario. If it's as clear-cut as I paid for something, they didn't ship it to me, yeah, of course we get involved. If it's, I don't like the color this guy painted my wall, well, that's probably more of a discussion between you and the painter. We weren't there on the job site, et cetera. We've got some basic ground rules in the community that govern how our folks need to take care of each other, those minimum requirements for participation. And then beyond that, it's up to us as good business owners to keep good businesses in your network and make sure our customers are satisfied with what they're doing with one another. But I do want to throw in here, if I can, real quick.
You can.
Trade, whether it's with my company or anybody, you talk about choice and the difficulty of maybe disengaging with one of these bigger groups. You get into the small business world and you've got all these choices out there. I encourage business owners to look at trade as a vehicle for getting more folks to choose them.
Yeah.
You'll get customers that choose you because you're willing to do trade work with them. So it's sort of an easier way to gain some revenue you may not have had before. Your bid might be a tiny bit less competitive, actually, than somebody else's. But if you'll do trade work with someone, well, they can squeeze that into their budget more easily. So it's a great tool for small businesses to use to make themselves a little more attractive when someone's making those choices.
Yeah, and there's such a it's so hard sometimes for small businesses to compete, and you don't see that so much in the service industry right now. You see it in the retail industry, and now it's almost becoming a joke that you go into the small shops to try on the shoes or to look at the shirt or find something, and then you literally go outside and you go on your cell phone and you order it off Amazon.
I was reading the other day, people don't even bother to go outside anymore.
They just do it in the store.
They're like looking at the store and like, okay, here's the cheaper things I found it. Some of them are kind enough to try to give the retailer a chance to match.
Right.
And then the rest just order it right there and walk out. So, yeah, they're using these retail businesses as basically giant dressing rooms.
Yeah, yeah. It's too bad. I mean, that's a tough thing because there is, with Comcast or with some of these companies that, some people don't like the service, there is certainly an economies of scale. I mean, I can't just up and start a cable company and go, we're going to have really good service and start going house to house going, would you like to buy Ben's cable?
No.
I don't have any channels, A, and B, it just
the infrastructure isn't there.
You can't, right? And so, or a cell phone. I guess there are some of these small cell phone companies that pop up, but
and one of the big guys in our backyard, Amazon, has shown the infrastructures of scale in a retail environment work too. You don't see a lot of small retail stores, period, anymore. I feel like they're part of a chain, a giant franchise chain, or like I live in the Fremont area of Seattle, and there are little clothing boutiques. And I still walk by and I'm like, how are these people in business? Who walks into the store often enough to turn over enough product to make you enough margins to pay your rent and your employees? Mm-hmm. And I am enthusiastic. I love it. I'm looking for the word and I don't have it here. I praise them, but it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough with someone. They can buy it cheaper with 2 clicks on their phone that they carry with them everywhere now.
Yeah, and so what really I think people have to discern what's important to them. Is it money? Is it just cost, or do you actually want good service too? Because in a little bit, we're going to talk about the real estate side of this as well, and maybe what people have to go through when they're buying a house. And sure, you can always get something cheaper.
Sure.
You could literally go online. I mean, I'm in the mortgage business. You could go online and you could get a lower rate. You could never stop getting a lower rate. Every bank you could find, somebody would give you a lower rate.
A point off or whatever.
You can't win the game.
No.
And so at some point, people have to really figure out what's important to them but the reality is, like for cable, what's really important to me is having like 400 stations and really fast, fast internet. That's
value is more than just price.
Yeah,
sometimes
it is. So that's yes. Do I put up with it? Yes, of course, because A, there's really nowhere else to go. But B, I'm more excited about I got 45 sports stations. You know how many of those I watch? 3.
Yeah, I was going to say 1 or 2.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And what you said or the piece you're getting at, I think is absolutely true. And that's when you're shopping, people make that decision. Is value just about price? And clearly some things America has said it is. In boxed goods and dried groceries, Walmart and Target are there for a reason.
Yep.
It's about the price. But in some other things, especially I think when you're inviting a service provider into your home, when you're, creating a connection for a regular vendor, a mechanic down the street, maybe value is more than just price.
Yeah.
And that's where, small businesses can still get that leg up.